This story relates back to my college days at Kolkata and Delhi. It is about why our place Sikkim is considered a land of peace and tranquility. So sit back, relax, and take this virtual journey with me, Sonam and Studio Mellow. Being born in the peaceful and sacred land of Sikkim, I spent most of my youth here, completely isolated from the outside world. The time in the 1990s was full of happiness and ease. There were hardly any tensions or burdens to bear. The only tension was the school exams and the merciless beatings from our parents when we came home almost covered in dirt after playing outside. The world was not that technologically advanced yet. We spent our days playing outside our homes and mainly engaged in outdoor activities. The advantages of today's world were kind of a dream or fantasy for us at that time. Nevertheless, we were happy and content. Our homeland never gave us the opportunity to complain or be dissatisfied. Then came the time that forced us to leave both our mothers. It was time to leave home and go out into the world to pursue our higher education. I can remember being excited and overwhelmed by the journey ahead at that time. As I discovered and explored a completely new place, I felt the need to reflect on the events that needed to be discovered. I landed in Kolkata, and when I first got off the train in Sialda, I was almost on the verge of dehydration because of the intense humidity and heat. I had never experienced such heat. At that moment, I missed the cool and pleasant weather at home. The sight of such a large number of people made me nervous. Nevertheless, the feeling of exploring a new place made me overlook these drawbacks. Slowly time passed and I had already experienced many new things during this time. At the top of the list was confronting racist comments, words like Chinese momo, and questions like, where is Sikkim? Is it a separate country? Became a habit for me and my friends. It was even worse for the girls from our place. All this event made me miss the times back home. Talk of sanitation and cleanliness made me long for my hometown even more. While experiencing all this at once, a question came to my mind. Why is it not our place like this? Why is it so peaceful and soothing? Why are the people back home so compassionate, calm and serene? So I set out to find the answers. After spending some time searching for the causes, I came up with three main reasons. First, the government and its policies. Second, the demography of the place. And thirdly, and the most important, the religion of Buddhism and its teachings. Therefore, I will highlight the religious aspect, that is the role of Buddhism in the state of Sikkim. However, other religions have also played an equally important role. At the heart of Sikkim's culture and tradition are the three deities who protect the land. The history of Sikkim is full of myths, legends and spiritual traditions. Central to this is the belief that the land itself is guarded by the three powerful deities. These deities are considered the protectors of this Himalayan paradise, and their influence is felt in every aspect of life in Sikkim. Sikkim is a Buddhist state where people follow the teachings of Tibetan Buddhism. When we talk about Sikkim, we think first and foremost of peace, serenity and greenery. And behind all this, I believe that our three main deities have an important role and significance in the lives of the people of Sikkim. These three deities are Chenrezig, the one who looks upon all beings, also known as Avalokiteshvara, Buddha, who is also called Sangye by the Sikkimese, and finally Guru Rinpoche, also known as Guru Padmasambhava. There are large statues dedicated to all these three deities. Therefore, in this series on the three main deities, I will enlighten my viewers about some details regarding to these deities. Side by side, I will take you all on this virtual journey to the places where these statues were erected. So let us explore these places with positivity. We are about to reach Peling, and just on the way there's a jam over here. You can see agadi carpeting huँदो रहेछ है, त्यही कारणले jam. So I'm about to reach. I think it's almost around 2 to 3 kilometers now in order to reach Chenrezig statue. Okay, so stay tuned. So finally at around 1 p.m. I have reached the place Peling, where the statue of Chenrezig is there. So let's explore. है घाम पनि मजाले लागिरहेको छ कति दिन बाद, एन्ड ड्रोन शट्सहरु पनि राम्रो राम्रो आउने होला वेदर हेर्दा. Of all the deities in Mahayana Buddhism, the bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara, Chenrezig, is one of the most celebrated. He is the Lord endowed with complete illumination, who refrains from entering the blissful state of nirvana to remain here below and save the creatures of the earth. This devotion to the salvation of others emphasizes the profound compassion this bodhisattva represents. Compassion for others had always been regarded as a virtue in early Buddhism, but it had a subordinate place to wisdom. In Mahayana Buddhism, compassion received an equal emphasis with wisdom, perhaps because the Mahayana was more consciously universal and covered a wider section of society. In this view of the world, all men and women, not just those leading a monastic life, could achieve nirvana. Avalokiteshvara, the merciful, is also called Padmapani, or transformation of this bodhisattva took place in China. As if in honor of his powers of love, the Chinese Buddhists portrayed him as a woman, the goddess Kuan Yin, who cradles the symbol of the soul in her arms and resembles the Virgin Mary. In contrast to this concrete effigy, India sees the sympathetic savior as a cosmic being who takes countless shapes. From his eyes comfort the sun and moon. From his brow, Maheshwara, the great god who creates life with a thunderbolt from his third eye. From his shoulders, Brahma and other gods. From his heart, Narayana, the soul of the universe. From his thighs, Saraswati, the wife of Brahma and the goddesses of wisdom, music and science. From his mouth, the winds. From his feet, the earth. From his stomach, Varuna, an emanation from the sun, initiating cycles of life and the embodiment of truth. In the Tibetan Buddhist pantheon of enlightened beings, Chenrezig is renowned as the embodiment of the compassion of all the Buddhas, the Bodhisattva of compassion. Chenrezig is considered the patron Bodhisattva of Tibet, and his meditation is practiced in all the great lineages of Tibetan Buddhism. The beloved king Songtsen Gampo, who was believed to be an emanation of Avalokiteshvara, and some of the most respected meditation masters, like the Dalai Lama and Karmapas, who are considered living Buddhas, are also believed to be the emanations of Avalokiteshvara. So, Chenrezig गुम्बा Chenrezig स्ट्याचु सबै घुमिसके. नाउ अघि एकजना उहाँको मान्छेले चाहिँ उहाँ अलिकति अगाडि जानुहोस्, त्यहाँबाट भ्यू दामी छ, एन्ड द ड्रोन शट्स फ्रम देयर विल बी भेरी सिनिक अरे कि, त्यही कारण जान्दैछु अगाडि. र सानो मोनास्ट्री, पुरानो मोनास्ट्री पनि छ जस्तो लाग्यो यहाँ पर पहिला म आउँदा, एन्ड गुड स्पट्स आर देयर. सो Chenrezig is the early manifestation of the self-born eternal Buddha Amitabha. He guards this world in the interval between the historical Sakyamuni Buddha and the next Buddha of the future, Maitreya. According to legend, Avalokiteshvara made a vow that he would not rest until he had liberated all the beings in the realms of suffering. After working diligently at the task for a very long time, he looked out and realized the immense number of miserable beings yet to be saved. Seeing this, he became despondent and his head split into thousands of pieces. Amitabha Buddha put the pieces back together as a body with 1,000 arms, an eye on each palm to see the suffering in the world, and 11 heads, the top of which is Amitabha, allowing Avalokiteshvara to assist the myriad of sentient beings all at the same time. Chenrezig is visualized in many forms, with various numbers of faces and arms and various colors and ornaments. The radiant white Buddha form representing purity and power of the enlightened mind's loving kindness and compassion is illustrated above. We may visualize him as a transparent rainbow-like form, like a reflection in water, representing the empty and open aspect of awakened mind. He transcends the solidification of concepts, including our idea that he is out there separate from us. He sits on a lotus and the flat disk of the moon, with another moon disk behind him, reflecting his total purity. He wears the silks and ornaments of a bodhisattva, representing all his special qualities, and the soft skin of an antelope over his shoulder, symbolizing his complete freedom from violence. He smiles with deep understanding, love, and compassion as his eyes look upon all beings. The 4 arms and hands signify the 4 immeasurable loving kindness, immeasurable compassion, immeasurable joy, and immeasurable equanimity. Chenrezig, the bodhisattva of boundless compassion, is the very embodiment and realization of the 4 immeasurable. The 4 immeasurable are the vehicles through which Chenrezig benefits beings. The first 2, the inner arms, have palms joined at the heart, holding a sky blue, wish-fulfilling jewel. This symbolizes that in whatever way Chenrezig manifests to benefit beings, the quality of Chenrezig's mind is never separate from the all-pervasive primordial wisdom. In the outer right hand, Chenrezig is holding crystal beads and moving them the way we use a mala to count mantras. This symbolizes that there is not one moment when Chenrezig does not benefit beings. Like the steady movement of counting the beads, Chenrezig is continuously benefiting sentient beings and turning the wheel of enlightened activity. In the outer left hand, Chenrezig holds a lotus flower. This symbolizes that in benefiting sentient beings, Chenrezig manifests in whatever forms are necessary in accordance with the mental capacities, circumstances, and aptitudes of sentient beings. However Chenrezig may appear, he or she remains free from any of the samsaric stains of the various realms, the way a lotus flower growing in a swamp appears free of the stain of the mud. The left hand of Chenrezig holding the flower symbolizes that stainlessness. Avalokiteshvara Chenrezig is the embodiment of that unselfish urge to look upon each other as loving equals. If you are in need of guidance in healing, unity, unselfishness, or the mastering of fears, you may meditate on the qualities of Chenrezig. Say the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum, hail to the jewels in the lotus, which liberates all beings from suffering. It is very good to recite the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum, but while you are doing it, you should be thinking on its meaning, for the meaning of the 6 syllables is great and vast. The first, Om, symbolizes the practitioner's impure body, speech and mind. They also symbolize the pure exalted body, speech and mind of a Buddha. The path is indicated by the next 4 syllables. Mani, meaning jewel, symbolizes the factors of method, the altruistic intention to become enlightened, compassion and love. The 2 syllables Padme, meaning lotus, symbolize wisdom. Purity must be achieved by an indivisible unity of method and wisdom, symbolized by the final syllable Hum, which indicates indivisibility. There are stone-made stupas which are been seen at the back. Right? Stone-made stupas, chorten zero. A nice place. This place is behind the monastery. Monastery को पिछाडिपटि हैन अनि यहाँ चाहिँ एउटा मज्जाको बस्ने मेरो चौर भन्छ अब. The particular wonderful qualities that Chenrezig manifests us are just the ones we need to get more in touch with as aspects of our own nature. If we want to become an enlightened Buddha, or even if we just want to become a truly compassionate person, we and the image of Chenrezig are the 2 extremes. We have flesh and blood bodies, but not as much compassion as we would like to have. And Chenrezig has a body made of rainbows, the boundless, impartial compassion. When we put those 2 extremes together, in the Chenrezig meditation, we move in the direction of manifesting as a being with a physical body, a body of rainbow light and unlimited compassion. Various aspects of the form we visualize remind us of the most important qualities of this particular manifestation of an awakened mind, the qualities we are trying to connect to. In visualization practice, we imagine ourselves to be a Buddha. In this case, the Buddha of compassion, Avalokiteshvara. By replacing the thought of yourself as you with the thought of yourself as Avalokiteshvara, you gradually reduce and eventually remove the fixation on your personal self, which expands your loving kindness and compassion toward yourself and towards others. And your intelligence and wisdom become enhanced, allowing you to see clearly what someone really needs and to communicate with them clearly and accurately. Avalokiteshvara Chenrezig is the embodiment of that unselfish urge to look upon each other as loving equals. So done for today, है? Chenrezigको स्ट्याचुको बारेमा पनि मैले तपाईहरुलाई सबैलाई knowledge दिए. What relevance does Chenrezig brings to the lives of Sikkimese people? Not only Sikkimese people, those who ever want to follow Tibetan Buddhism and है त्यसको लागि. अनि now चाहिँ I'm returning from here, Peling. So I'll be going towards Gangtok. अब घर जान्छु. If you are in need of guidance in healing, unity, unselfishness, or the mastering of fears, you may meditate on the qualities of Avalokiteshvara Chenrezig, saying the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum, hail to the jewel in the lotus. This trip to Peling was indeed a fascinating experience, and I actually got to know a lot about Chenrezig. Hope my viewers also got the concept, principles relating to Chenrezig. I would request my viewers to kindly adopt the principles and practice this wonderful concept of compassion. In the next part, I'll be traveling to Ravangla to capture and make you all accustomed to another prime deity of Sikkim. Till then, do away with negative energy and embrace positive energy no matter where you are, and kindly like, share, comment and subscribe my channel. Till then, bye-bye.